It's time for our talk of the town today here on AM 1390 KRFO. And we're getting to that time of year as we have the month of July. And coming up, it's the Village of Yesteryear with the Historical Extravaganza, not this weekend, but next weekend. And Jerry Ganfield joins us, like, longtime member, or do you have a title at all, Jerry?
Well, right now I'm vice president of the board.
Okay, there you go. So he's got a title and stuff like that. We've been doing this, I suppose, probably a decade you've been having the extravaganza
This
or
will be
more.
our 30th
It's that many.
extravaganza.
It is that many years.
It's that many years, the
Oh,
third
sure.
decade.
Okay, it's
Yes.
been around before I was even here then, I guess. Okay.
Yes.
Some things that have been added maybe within the last decade. We start things off with the July 9th Chuck Wagon Supper. And you talk a
Yes.
little bit about that.
That's been a newer feature of the weekend. We have the Chuck Wagon Supper, which is a pulled pork dinner at the History Center. We've been having it there because of the air conditioning and restrooms that are right there. And that's a fundraiser. We have entertainment there as well. But that starts at 5:30 to 7 on Saturday night, the 9th. And we hope people will avail themselves of tickets, which are available at Kotke's or from board members or, of course, the History Center.
And once in a while there might be a few left at the door, but it's probably best not to think that way. You should get them now.
Right. They're best to get in advance, and it helps us on our planning too. So, and we have some entertainment there that's different this year that we think people will enjoy while they have dinner.
And you want to tell us who they are? Or
Well, that's a little secret.
okay, that's all right. It's good to have secrets. Secret entertainment coming up there. That'll be again July 9th, Chuck Wagon Supper. That hall really is nice to have, that History Center. That's got to be quite an addition. Just, I mean, it's a few years old now, but still, it's got to be a treat.
Well, we opened in 2012,
Yeah.
and time passes quickly, and we are still dealing with inventory and cataloging from when everything was in the village, and our office was in the Donnell House. So, you know, it's been a long time in transition. We're not done yet, and we're still working on that.
Well, we'll get to maybe volunteers later on, but we'll continue with the extravaganza, the supper, and the entertainment on Saturday night. Sunday, July 10th, that's the big day, and it's still free admission to walk in, right?
It's free admission to the grounds. You can enjoy all the demonstrations and the entertainment free. You do have to pay for food that you eat, and we hope you will enjoy the what we have in meals and in ice cream and cake and old-fashioned floats and ice cream. It's a fun day, and we hope it'll be even more like a Sunday afternoon picnic like you might have had years ago. We're featuring some games for adults and kids. Some of the old-fashioned ones like the three-legged race or the egg and spoon race, and we hope we'll have some adults with youthful spirits and their children or grandchildren to participate in that. Plus we have the entertainers on stage, and we have all the demonstrators. We have the tractor slow race and skill performance. And of course we have the Rooster old time baseball game on Diamond 4 at 3 o'clock.
You got enough players for that? Are you still looking?
Jerry Besser's in charge of that, and he's been recruiting, and he can be called if you want to participate in that, because it's kind of fun to play by the old rules. And Jerry Besser's phone number is 507-451-5196, and really he'd like to have a call by today if you're interested, so he can line everybody up in positions.
Well, what I found is the most interesting thing, if people shouldn't just walk around and look, talk to some of the people, because there's some interesting people you have there on the grounds. I know that the two that were the trappers, I think, in that corner back there, those people are passionate about their hobby, and they know their
Right.
stuff.
We have the rendezvous this year, probably more en masse, and they're participating more, and they'll be on the north end of the grounds by the old cabins. We're excited to have them, and they may be some of our entertainment this year.
Okay. So again, don't be afraid to talk to the people, because they like to talk. I mean, the few I talk to are just like an encyclopedia. Like, boy, you're not just dressing up and playing. You mean you've got a story to share.
Right.
Can you tell us about some of the entertainment that'll be performing this Sunday?
Well, I think many people are familiar with Danelle Lenort will be there at 3 o'clock, but we will feature again the Teddy Roosevelt impersonator, who will be appearing this year as the Rough Rider. He entertained our children last year in our children's history clubs, and they were delighted because he talked about his being out west and his children, and it was really fascinating. Last year he appeared here as more as a presidential candidate because, Teddy Roosevelt appeared here in Owatonna in 1912 when he was running for presidency.
Oh,
So there was a historical connection with Teddy Roosevelt.
But I wonder if that was before or after Milwaukee, where he took a bullet in Milwaukee in 12. I think was that. I wonder was that before or after.
I'd have to check that out.
I'm curious
Because both Taft and Roosevelt were here on the train.
I didn't know that. Oh, I'm going to snoop around on that myself if I can't find somebody who can tell me the answer to that. Because I know Teddy, they tried to shoot him in Milwaukee. Okay, that's something to think about. We'll file that away. And again, President Roosevelt coming there. Some other things happening over the weekend you'd like to talk about for the folks?
Well, I think we have a lot of our demonstrators that will show how people did old-time crafts. Some have been here for several years, like the rope maker and the leather maker and the butterfly lady. And we have a lady who's doing pressing flowers, how you preserve flowers and press them. And we'll have Straight River Sal has never been there before, so she will be on stage.
And we'll tell me about her.
Well,
a little bit, or not. If you can't, you don't have to.
She's going to work in a little bit of Steele County history and have an interactive time with the audience.
Okay, you mentioned pressing flowers. I remember old books or magazines and scrapbooks I'd find at rummage sales. They'd have the pressed flowers. Do people really do that a whole lot nowadays? And why did they do it back then? Was it a flower from a special occasion, like a wedding? Or?
Well, it could be. I mean, there are techniques to preserve your bridal bouquet and things like that. But you want to preserve them, you want to preserve their color and their appearance. So there's special skill in how to do it, because if you don't do it right, the colors can fade. And I have some that have done years ago by friends of mine who have been framed because they're beautiful pictures.
I'm asking I'm asking you all kinds of questions about stuff maybe you don't need to know about, but I'm just curious about stuff like that. Talking to Jerry Ganfield, the Historical Extravaganza coming up Saturday and Sunday, the 9th and 10th of July, so just a little over a week away. You mentioned you have a lot of volunteers, but you could always use more volunteers. What are you looking for?
We can always use volunteers, and there's so many things that you can do no matter what your skill level is, and you can learn new skills too, because we have them working in the back room, we have them working at the reception desk, we've had some receptionists who've had to retire, and we always have openings there because we have receptionists all our open hours. And certainly we need maintenance volunteers, because we do have a village of 19 structures that need maintenance, whether it's a little touch of paint or fixing something. And that's what we're in the midst of doing, getting ready for this extravaganza. We also, have exhibits in the History Center. We have 3 of them there now. And those are managed largely by volunteers who have a special interest in the area. We have the Wedding Traditions exhibit. We have the Disasters of Steele County and Minnesota exhibit, and we have Steele County in Vietnam as an exhibit. And those have all been exhibit committees of volunteers who have an interest or have contacts within those subjects.
I suppose we should bring up Sunday the 10th. Would a person be able to go inside the museum for free as well?
Yes, the whole event is free, so it's a good opportunity to see everything. And it's surprising sometimes how many people have not been in the History Center, even though it's been open for 4 years. And so we welcome people to come there and see the exhibits and join the society, because then you can go to the History Center any time of the year, free. And most of our events there are free, that are not involving a meal, and reduced rate if there is a charge. Membership really supports the society, and we're hoping we reach out to many people. We've increased our membership, but we always are looking for more support.
How much for a membership, and does it start would it start today and then be end of day, or is it prorated to the end of the year? How's it work?
Well, it starts for a year from the day you join, and there are several levels of membership, from senior citizen to family. So I don't have the rate card with me, but it's certainly very reasonable and lets you in all year.
And also, well, that enables someone to use some of the resources too. I'm sure you have microfilm and papers on hand. As a member, you
Well,
can use
membership lets you into the GAR room, the Genealogy and Research Room, and we are a member of Ancestry.com, so if you're a member, you get to use those services free at the History Center. If you are coming in and doing research and having our people do research, then there is a charge for that, but you can certainly do your own as a member free.
A lot of people are into it, but they have not taken the first step. So let's say John Doe walks in and says, "Where do I start? I was my great grandparents were from Steele County. Where do I start?" What would be something that he would experience with you?
Well, Alice Nadeau is our volunteer who heads up that area, and beginning this this summer, fall, that she is having a series of meetings to have beginners come in and learn how do you approach it, where do you start, how do you look at records, how do you find shipping records, and deal with names that suddenly shift their spelling or something in that process, and how do you find those sources of Ellis Island and shipping records, and Alice is the go-to person.
So basically, if you've never done it and you're kind of scared, someone will be there to help you out there.
And we have speakers come in and talk in their special area of expertise too.
Okay. Jerry Ganfield, anything else you want to say about the extravaganza coming up or the Historical Society in general?
Well, I'd like to see as many people there as possible, and with lots of kids and lots of grandchildren. Come and have a fun day. It's one of the opportunities that you can have fun together as a family, and with a special feature of the adult and children games where you can compete with each other. We hope you'll have a fun afternoon.
And lots of stuff to see and do in that. Okay, it's coming up the 9th and 10th, and that's our Talk of the Town for today here on AM 1390.